Hello and welcome to Spotlight Indie. If you are joining us live, welcome. Thank you. Joining us today for this chilled out Sesh is the fabulous Tom Buckbeard, the incredible Tim Hardy, and what's the right adjective for you?
Nobody knows, Frasier. Nobody knows.
And we got Holly, and we may have more joining us. Who knows? But let's go around. Like, how you doing, guys? Tom, let's start with you.
Doing grand. Yes, I'm ready. I've got my snacks, got my cup of tea, my Wayward World mug. If need be watching, representing.
Yeah, love
Ella
it.
McRae's just joined us as well. Life
Hey.
is good.
Hey, Lauren, how's it doing?
Good, you?
Yeah, awesome, amazing. Tim, what about you?
Yeah, I'm as ready as I am, having just joined 30 seconds ago. But I have made a coffee, so I'm reasonably ready, and I think I know what I'm going to be doing this afternoon as well. So that's as prepared as it gets.
Oh, perfect. As prepared as it gets is good. It's good enough for me, Tim. Yeah. Holly, how are you doing?
Hello. I'm okay. I'm ready to do some running. I'm not going to lie to you, Frasier. I've had a rough week this week. It has not been a good week for me on the old mental health front. So I'm coming in here with full transparency because that's what we're all about. We're all here to share this experience. It's been unpleasant, but that is part of the reason why I'm here, because I get to hang out with you lovely people and it's going to make me feel a whole lot better.
For everybody who's tuning in, can we just get like some love for Holly? Like round of applause for Holly in the comments and the chats and everything, because like we love Holly.
Yes, I deserve praise for going into my shed and putting my laptop on. No, I'm just joking. Please give me more. I love it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. Please.
So Tim, you said you knew what you were doing this afternoon. Like, give us some spicy details. What is it you're going to be doing?
What am I going to be doing? So I've been releasing a short story series through my newsletter since, I want to say 2022, 22, 23, something like that. I had a random idea to do a soap opera, never-ending short story. And I realised after about 2 years, this was the worst idea I'd ever had in my life because it's like an uncontrollable beast. But also it started to become a novel because it started to insist upon having like a beginning, middle, and end rather than a continuous flow. So about halfway through that project, I pivoted into, okay, I'm writing a novel. And then I looked at it, it looked like I was due to finish in 2028. And then I realised, actually, what I'm really doing there is I'm writing 3 novels, and that's insane. So I then realised, actually, if I stop it at the first story arc, it'll be done. And then I realised I'm 2 short stories away from finishing the entire project. So, which I've now done. So I've now finished those 2 stories. So I'm sitting on a pile of stuff, which I now need to wrestle. Probably not in 2 hours. It'll probably take me longer. But I now need to wrestle that into a proper novel proposition, start to finish. There's a few bits that need tweaks at the beginning. There's some of those early stories, and I was a bit more freestyling the tale. But I'm going to start that this afternoon in terms of getting the beginning, middle, and end into a single manuscript, and that will become the Bull Throne. Basically, that will become a new standalone novel I've been working on.
So you're going to be wrestling this afternoon.
That's
amazing.
Yes. Mental wrestling. I hasten to add mental wrestling only.
You know, I was so excited then. I was like just getting ready for what your entrance music was going to be, and ripping off the thing and being like,
no, there's no ripping of any things. No, that's not. Well, I don't know why people are tuning in, but I'm pretty sure they're not tuning in to see any of that.
Oh, I think you may be surprised.
No,
that's why I'm here.
No.
I mean, it's why we're all here.
Yeah, exactly.
This was a Hulk Hogan shirt tear.
Yes.
Lauren, talk to us, please.
Yeah, Lauren. Hi.
Hello.
Do you know what you're going to be writing this afternoon?
Well, actually, I took the last 2 weeks of August off, so I'm on my holiday and I'm coming back to write. So this is not what I expected. But I recently released the finale to my Dragon Fruits trilogy, and as a little bonus for my patrons, I'm writing some character epilogues. I did plot them out a couple weeks back, so I'll probably just start like first draft of at least one of those, maybe 2, depending on how it goes. Because I haven't written for a couple of weeks now, I almost feel like, how do I do this again? What am I supposed? thoughts and words that sound good. So half of the time is probably going to be like getting to grips with that and getting back into the rhythm, and then the rest will be drafting at least the first of those character epilogues. I have 5 to do in total, so we'll see how we go.
That's really good. Love character epilogue. I love your Patreon, so like it stands to rights that I would like it, right?
Thank you.
In terms of what you're working on and all that kind of stuff, this is the setting for it, Lauren, to get to ease back into it, because this is just chill. Like we're not going to be like, you must do like all 5 today. Like that's
I was
try together, right? Like
Tom, what about you? Have you got an idea of what you're going to be doing?
I might be ambitious and I might hop from one project to the next. So I have Corsair edits to do, which I've come prepared. With my
Yes.
Yes.
So edits to finish this book will happen. And then, if I do get sufficient time, I am writing a weird Western.
I love this.
Wow.
So depending on what hat I'm wearing, you'll know what I'm working on.
Does the hat make a difference? I'm curious.
Absolutely none.
Oh,
Oh, you're
Yeah.
kidding. It makes all the difference. You just went from captain to sheriff in the blink of an eye. That's incredible. I want to go get a hat now. Like,
Well, I
for
feel
everybody-
like if we do go down the wrestling route, like I could join Tim and we could bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, big words. We'll do that. At the next in-person Spotlight Indie event, it's Tom versus Tim.
Yes.
this
I will
always
make this
happens.
happen.
No,
I'm going to make you walk the plank, Tim.
What about you, Holly? Have you got any idea as to what you're going to be doing?
Similar to Tom, I think I'm going to be bouncing a little bit between projects because I go on holiday next week, which means I am abandoning Frasier and Alex and the rest of the Spotlight team for a week and not speaking to them because my phone will be off. So I do have some Spotlight stuff that I need to get done, some promo for some exciting things coming up. But I also do want to do a bit of work on Vanguard. So I think I'll probably write for the first sprint and then see where we are.
I am not going to know how I'm going to cope, Holly, for an entire week without being told what to do. I'm going to be completely lost.
Just want to know how to function.
I know. If like you come back and you'll be like, "What happened to Frasier?" and I'll just be sort of like, in like a puddle, and you'll be like, "Well, I should keep my phone on next time."
It's fine. I've trained Alex in the ways of Spotlight Indie so that he can take my place and keep you functioning, Frasier, over the week.
I appreciate it. And I'm just gonna be like drafting stuff. So yeah, I've got like a chapter that I want to try and get done, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, regretting not bringing a hat. 100% regretting not bringing a hat.
It's not too late.
It is. We're live.
Oh, yeah.
If you're wearing a hat in the comments, right, let us know what type of hat it is, and just let us know what you're working on so that we can give you a shout out and so that we can support you as well, as we all chill out and do our stuff together. Yeah. Is everybody got like their snacks sorted? Everybody got drinks? Everybody got what they need?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Ish?
hydrated.
Ish, Lauren, that intrigues me.
I didn't bring any snacks because I didn't want to be crunching and making noise. So I just have like a drink, but nothing to munch on. But it'll be fine.
I could have had a bit of ASMR going on, that could have been quite good.
Yeah, but that's
Lauren eats a
the
biscuit
eating one is a
live.
Marmite. People either love it or will hate it, and I don't want to drive away people that can't stand the sound of chewing.
You know what? It's probably a good thing because if there were people tuning in and they were particularly productive over the sound of you chewing, then they may be requesting like 12-hour long loops of just you eating, Lauren, which would be
No.
yeah, that
But
would be
think how much
great.
money you could make selling like audio credits for just crunching sounds. Be rich.
It's
I
not
don't know
called
if it'll be
YouTube.
worth it.
boys.
I don't know. I think well, I'm going to be eating, but I'm going to be putting myself on mute. So yeah,
Yeah, all that. I'll just do that, yeah.
yeah. Although I don't know. Now that you say about the possibility of being rich,
Please don't.
I mean,
I know.
It's not the road to riches you think it is, Frasier. I'm just going to put that out there.
you say that with experience.
Tim, don't tell him these things.
The things I've done, the things I've seen. Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna go sort of Google Tim Hardy
No.
OnlyFans just to see what comes up.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So yeah, so if everyone's like happy, what we've got is we've got the same videos that we had in the last one of these. So yeah, we'll be writing along to the soundscapes that Alan Stroud has very kindly donated towards us. So we'll be putting those back on, and we'll be having the countdown, so you'll see how many minutes are going and that kind of thing, so you'll know when our first break's going to be. Each video is 25 minutes long. We're going to aim for 3 of them, and then after each video we'll just like check in with each other, see how we're getting on, see how we're doing, that kind of thing. But yeah, is everybody up for it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we're going to mute ourselves, and then we will enjoy the first session of writing. Oh, Tom, just before we do, give us an R.
Arr!
Oh yeah.
I'm
Here we
ready
go,
now.
guys. Let's do it. So there's 45 seconds, and that'll be our first 25 minutes done, which means this is your 40-second wrap-up time. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back. How did it go, everybody?
Good.
Yeah. Progress was made. The music sounds very Blade Runner-y. I've not paid attention to it before now, and I was like, I feel like I should be writing sci-fi with this.
Yeah, we need some fantasy style sort of soundscapes, right? It's yeah, we need harps and what are those? I don't know. I'm doing a lot of this with my fingers today. I'm sorry, everybody. That's really
what instrument is that?
Yeah, I don't know. We need some fantasy instruments. Yeah.
Yes, it could be.
Yeah. How did everybody do? How have you got word counts? Have you got stuff you can share? I can tell you, I did 3.5 pages, so I don't know what that is, but
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is good.
I did 493 words, but did anybody see me getting sabotaged? Blatant cat sabotage. When you watch this back later, you will see that I spent half that time with a face full of cat. It's made it very difficult.
Mine's actually sort of sleeping next to me at the moment, or one of mine is, and she's like a time bomb. At some point, she will demand attention, but right now she's just chilling out, looking very relaxed.
That would be the most dastardly time bomb ever if it was a strapped cat, right?
Now she sabotaged me. She wants to leave. This is how it works.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's just tuned in, we're looking at Holly's cat.
An integral part of the writer journey.
That's awesome. No, I feel like a face full of cat would be a really good spaghetti western. Where
is she? I can't see her now.
How did you do, Tom?
All right. There's nothing really to share because it's just editing I've been putting off. But it's good to have an excuse. And every keystroke felt epic.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yes. I do like an epic keystroke very much.
Which edit is this, Tom? Is it a developmental or a copy edit?
This is the before it's getting ready to send out to ARC readers edit.
Ooh.
The final pass over to make sure it's actually okay.
Awesome.
Just the temptation to add in so much stuff is really hard to avoid. So I'm trying
I don't think that doesn't go away even after you've published it. I read an excerpt from one of my books last night and I was like, oh, I really want to take that word out now. So yeah, it happens even years after. Or there might just be me.
Get ready, Tim.
Get ready for what?
the ASMR.
You're not hearing it. You're not hearing it.
No, fortunately not. And I've no interest in hearing it either. I don't know.
I need to chew with my mouth open or something.
Mastication.
Oh, no.
Forced mastication.
Could you accompany the mastication just with this action and see how that works?
Yeah, I don't know whether this thing's going to catch on, guys. I just hate to say it.
Oh, look, we just lost 10 subscribers.
Yeah, I feel like... So one thing that I learned through that session is the word soused.
Well, I haven't learned it. What the hell does that mean?
It means really wet. Apparently. Yeah. I was like, what's another word other than wet? I don't want to use damp. I don't want to use soaked. So I went to a thesaurus and it told me soused. Is that right?
Never heard of that. Never heard of that one before.
No. I mean, you have drenched, which I think is maybe a more common version of that. But yes.
I want to have it where people like it's almost like you've been thrown into the ocean and what that feeling is of like, right, I'm in the ocean suddenly and water is everywhere. What's like, I know that it like envelops you and you can be like absorbed by it and it's like saturated and all that kind of thing. But I wanted something that was going to be like what the experience of that was. So I've put it in as a placeholder word because I haven't quite hit what that word is. What do you guys think? What's a good word for that?
What, for being in water? Sorry, I missed a little bit of that.
Like, imagine you just thrown into an ocean. You've got water everywhere, and it's like all over. Like, what's the word that like describes that?
Which
I'd
ocean
probably
is
use
it?
annoying, actually. But I don't have many readers, so
like
maybe me. Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, if we're talking like a warm, pleasant Caribbean ocean, it'd be quite pleasant.
Yeah, we're talking. We're not talking warm oceans. We're talking freezing cold oceans. We're talking like east coast of Yorkshire oceans is what we're talking about. Like,
I mean, would you argue that you were overwhelmed by the water?
100%,
That could work.
100%. Yeah,
That could
that could work. Yes, an overwhelming souse.
An overwhelming sauce. Sauce just makes me think of sauce, which is obviously, I mean, you could drown someone in sauce, but that's a very different scenario.
Souse is the Welsh word for sauce.
Well, there you go. Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
could
Also,
had a
they
hot.
confuse your Welsh readers.
Yeah, it's like a whole new element.
It sounds too close to scouse for me. I'm thinking like, yeah, I don't want all the Liverpudlians and Welsh suddenly being confused. You know, that would not be ideal.
Apparently, the dictionary definition of soused is of food, especially fish, preserved in pickle or a marinade.
Oh yeah, it's like pickled.
So you're brined. Brined.
Brined. Oh yeah, I'm going brined. New placeholder word. That's amazing.
Or it can be drunk. I was soused to the eyeballs.
Yeah.
I think that's where I've heard it more. The
Souse.
to mean drunk. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Thanks, guys. That was helpful. Brined.
All I did was build a spreadsheet. I feel really boring now.
No, that's great. Yeah. I feel like the last time I did this, I was writing like a whirling dervish, and this time I'm being like more thoughtful, like more precise. I feel like I feel more chilled writing today, which is good. So you're doing good work, guys, because I'm feeling chilled. So that's good.
This is the first time I've ever written to music, actually, because normally I always write in a very silent environment. I find, well, I've always told myself I find it very distracting, but I think choosing a background music, right, and I've turned it down, not silent, but just turned it right down low. Yeah, so far it has actually worked. So I'd be interested to see what that carries on, because I've been doing technical stuff rather than creative stuff. So I'll see what it goes into when I switch into actually writing something.
Yeah, the word annoying will be back, Tim. I feel like you'll be like trying to think of something, and you'll be like, all I can think of is electronica. Like,
electronic annoyance. Which is a problem for fantasy. But,
yeah. So if anybody like wants to contribute some fantasy soundscapes, just let us have it. We'll use it the next time. That'd be great. Any budding indie creators that are out there. I feel like you were going to chip in, Holly.
I wasn't going to chip in. I was just going to say to Lauren, like, how did you find it? Because obviously you've had a 2-week break, and I just realised when we started that session that I've sort of had a 2-week break as well to do other things, and I had no idea what was going on in my manuscript. So I had to spend the first 5 minutes reading back to see what was going on. So how is that for you? Because obviously you've had a complete break.
Well, it was definitely not like just getting back into it. Like I had to remind myself of who these people are and why I'm writing their epilogues. I have the memory of a goldfish anyway, so I always have to reread what I've written. Like if I don't remember characters, events, plots, threads, none of it is always gone. So it's very much starting from fresh. But I think because before this, I had written like a rough outline of what I wanted to happen. So and it's only an epilogue, so it's only a page or two really for me. So it didn't have to be massive. So I think that helped having something a bit shorter to like get back into the zone with, I suppose. Which was very helpful, because when I was writing the sequel, I had to reread the first two books to remind myself of what was going on, rather than just getting back into it. I'm in awe of people who can just write. I can switch it up, I can go back into it, I know what I'm doing. So yeah, a bit of muddying through the weeds.
Yeah.
Did the hat help, Tom?
Surprisingly, yes. It helped plunge me into a more parody feel. It's just a problematic scene. I'm basically trying to make it a bit more Hollywood. It's basically the main character sneaking around the Ark Pirates brigantine, because he's I won't plot spoil, but somebody's been kidnapped and we're trying to get them back. So yes, it suited the mood well.
When you say more Hollywood, like, what do you mean by more Hollywood?
Paul Hollywood?
Yes. The one thing this scene is missing is red roll. Or vodka. I think more Hollywood. The thing I've always struggled with my writing is to make the world more descriptive and the world building feel more vivid. So the main edits I'm doing at the moment are just it is a coat of paint, making things seem a bit more Hollywood, like film-like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cinematic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like when people say that reading your book is like watching a movie, and that's what it feels like, it's a compliment for sure. It's like, yeah, I like that vibe.
Yeah.
How did it go for you, Holly? Because like I know that you've had a face full of cat, and I know that you've done a lot of reading, and I know that you've done, despite that, 490 odd words. So huzzah! But how are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right about it. I don't think that it was by any measure my best work that I came out with, but what I've done is, because I've been writing Vanguard, book 3, I sort of had so many previous drafts that I've got a lot of sort of Frankenstein monster style elements to it. Not in the sense of actual monsters, but like, you know, taking bits from one manuscript and then like another one and patching them together. So at the moment, it's a lot of it is just smoothing out rough edges and kind of rewriting rather than writing stuff that's completely original. So it sort of feels a bit like I'm getting through it faster than I actually am. I'm happy with that. If it makes me feel good about writing and that I'm doing more, then I'm happy to pretend.
Absolutely.
Is that cheating? It's not cheating, is it,
It's
technically?
not cheating.
No.
There's no
That's what
such
I'm
thing as
doing.
cheating.
I'm
Yeah.
stitching a load of stuff together and calling it a book.
Yeah.
That's what writing is, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody the other day about how when you're drafting, what kind of a drafter are you? Are you like one of these people that's like slows down and tries to make it perfect, or are you just like get something on the page and just like get the first coat done and it doesn't matter if it looks horrendous? And they said that they were very much like the first, like the second kind of drafter. And they said that there was this, like when they started writing, they used to be like the perfectionist, but they are now like the like just slap it on. And it's like it's not cheating to like there's no process where it's like wrong, or it's just like but that's what you can do with books, isn't it? You can be as messy as you want in the way that you hobble it all together. If at the end of the day it looks good and reads good, like it's not cheating, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you didn't type into ChatGPT like how please write me a third Vanguard book, that would be.
Damn it, you caught me again!
oh, right. How awkward. How awkward for all of us.
I spent 25 minutes just typing that into ChatGPT.
I mean, not that I ever would, but I would be genuinely horrified if some AI machine churned out a new version of my book and it was only 495 words long. I'd be like, is that it? Is that all you could get from my work? Is 495 words?
They all died except one who went out of biscuit. The end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. How's everybody feeling about doing another stint?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Feeling good. I want to see Tom's hat. I want to see what he puts on, just to
Right.
see what's
What we're going for. Let's do more pirates. Okay.
pirates again. I
Nice.
like it.
Let's go me Harpies.
See you in 25.
See ya.
And just like that, 25 minutes is gone. That's crazy.
That's
That just
quick.
seemed to sped by. How did you go? How did everybody get on?
I felt like that one went a lot quicker. I don't know if anybody else
Yeah.
felt that. But
100%. I thought you actually did it for 20 minutes that time. Like it was shorter.
I know, right?
No.
No, I promise it was 25. I promise. I'm not lying. Hi, Joe. Joe's here.
Yay.
Hi. Great to have you with us. Yeah, for everybody who's tuned in and who's joined us since our last sprint, let us know what you're working on. Let us know how it's going. If everybody felt that sped by, that's a good thing, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That was way
Okay.
quicker than the first sprint, even though both were 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like the first one's like you're warming up, you're still getting into your groove, and then the second one hits and you're like, yes. It's good.
Yeah.
So how many words, Holly?
So I did 532 on that one. And also prepare to be very proud of me, Frasier, because I'm writing a scene that involves a lot of food and it made me hungry. So I went and got some popcorn.
Yes. Nice one. Hi, Terry.
Hi,
Thanks
Terry.
for saying we're awesome. And we are trying. That's exactly what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're working on
pressure
it,
at
Terry.
all.
Yeah. What about you, Tim?
A bit similar. Sort of just absolutely flew by. So the prologue is the one bit that's new to the whole story I'm writing. So I've done a rough draft of that. So I just sort of dropped it into a manuscript format, and I was then running through it. So it's now what my novel now is an incredible 1,813 words,
That is
including
mighty.
things like headings and stuff, though, which is cheating slightly. But so I've just been tidying up. I was literally on the final paragraph when he called time on it. So I'm just about to start the assembly line.
Yay.
Rocks. Nice one. What about you, Lauren?
So my word count is now up to 874 in total, and I've got maybe another 200-ish words to finish off the first of the epilogues. So really, really happy with that. It came together quite quickly. Feeling positive.
Yeah. What about you, Tom?
I think I've edited about 10 pages. I know it's tropey because it's Sky Pirates, but there is a leap of faith scene, which I'm working on now. And the music was getting really dramatic right as the main character just leapt. I was like, this is awesome.
That's amazing. I love it when that happens. I got 4 pages, but more importantly, to add to the ASMR goodness, I also have.
Stop it! No,
You ready, Tim? You ready?
no one is ready for that.
Wait. There we go.
The magic fingers.
Yeah,
God,
for
this is
anybody
my
who's just
life
joined,
now.
yeah, you missed a great first stint. Yeah, but so that's like I'm like 7.5 pages or something for today, which is pretty good. I'll tell you
That
that.
is good.
I might be having a revelation during this actually, because I have a very noisy mind. My kids are convinced there's all sorts of things wrong with my brain. They might be right.
It's not just your kids, Tim.
Yeah, thanks for that. Sorry, that was lightning quick. No hesitation. But actually, the background music, I was completely on task with that piece of work. That was really interesting. Maybe I've been doing it wrong all these 52 years. That would be annoying, wouldn't it?
Tim, I am surprised that at no point you've ever tried writing with music. Like, don't write to music with lyrics, because then I don't know if you're anything like me, you will end up writing the lyrics or just it'll send you off. But like lyricless music, especially atmospheric, like Tom was saying, when it gets a bit dramatic, if you're doing a dramatic scene or it's kind of tense or whatever, it just, I don't know, it's like makes your brain subconsciously slip into that same emotion, I guess.
Yeah, possibly. I'm sure it does. So I think my biggest problem is distraction. My mind just wanders off to random, nothing to do with the books or anything I'm writing at all, and then all of a sudden an hour's gone by. So that is so maybe I need, like you say, I think with words with music. Sorry, music with lyrics and stuff, which is essentially what I listen to, is a no go. But maybe movie music, theme music, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Perhaps I've missed a trick all along.
Movie scores, video game soundtracks, all of that,
Yeah.
and then with a timer as well to keep the urgency there and not too long is definitely not all the time, but it can be helpful for sure.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like one of Tim's books, if he was to write sort of with lyrics, you would be reading it and you would just be ending it and be like, is this the final countdown? Like, I feel like that would be but I also feel like in some ways, like, having said that the final countdown would make an epic book. Like, you know, it's a great story in the song. People heading for Venus, saying farewell to everything they've left behind. Like, honestly, like, how somebody hasn't turned that into a book, I don't know. And we don't have the final
just
countdown.
Just give yourself a project.
Yeah,
I
kind of wish we had it to like close off the session. That would be
good. That'd be good.
But now I have 25 minutes of ASMR Frasier eating a banana instead.
Do you know what? If I could make this last 25 minutes, that would be impressive, right? Like,
that would be disgusting.
Worrying.
Last 25
the
minutes.
slow motion, like.
Hi, Carl. Welcome to whatever this is that's going on right now with Frasier eating a banana.
Yeah, it's the inspiration we all need, you know.
Clearly.
Yeah, I'm with you, Carl, on the prologues front. Like, people write them, people should read them, right?
If I called it chapter 1, would anyone even have a problem with it? It
Yeah.
just makes no sense. You're simply setting the scene. I just think people are doing it just to annoy people. I'm sure that's right.
I used to not read them.
Dun,
I know.
dun, dun.
I know.
No.
I used to not. I do now. But like, if I was reading a book, then I would read it. But if it was like I'm just checking out the sample to decide if I want to buy it, then I would just skip to the first chapter.
I can get that.
Yeah, if that helps in any way.
Oh no, I think everybody's got the choice of whether to read it or not. It's just the people that don't read it are just pure evil. Like, that's basically the.
Okay.
Yeah, Carl. Yeah, exactly. Important info going into the prologues.
Thomas, my next book is going to be all prologues. That's the attitude to have.
Yes. Hi, Thomas. Great to see you. Yeah. I feel like maybe what we should do is the next one of these, we should all just write a prologue in one of these sessions, just for the sake of it. Just be like, this is the prologue time, and then see how many people like rock up in support and how many people flee and abandon us to our prologues.
I will write a prologue to your prologue, Frasier.
That'd be great. Should we just do a book of prologues? That'd be a spotlight.
We're just ripping off Thomas's idea now.
Thomas can join in, can't he?
Yeah, send the prologue in, Thomas. Yeah, we'll do an anthology of prologues. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Are you staying Captain Hat, Tom?
I'm going Weird Western.
All right, switching over.
That's exciting. So Joe, you were writing along as well in the comments. Let us know how you get on. Let us know how many words you get and everything like that. Keep us posted in the comments because we want to know. So yeah, see, Thomas is on board. We got it. This is why it's important for us to chill out, because all the best ideas come out when we're chilled, right?
Exactly.
How much? So now that you're 800 words in, Lauren, are you? How close are you to like getting one epilogue done? Because we talked about prologues, but you're doing epilogues, right? Are you getting close to like almost being done on one?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've got like 200 words maybe left, and then that's the first draft, the vomit draft, done. 100%.
That's amazing.
Which is really good, because considering I was planning on just being on the sofa all day today, so I've been productive instead.
That's amazing. Also, you look very glamorous as you're vomiting your words out. That is, I've never seen someone look so glam while chucking up words. That's great.
Yeah, word vomit very different to stomach vomit for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't you feel as though it would be really sort of like people would get the wrong context if I started eating this banana and Holly's just there eating popcorn while I'm doing it? That would be As if she's somehow just enjoying the watching of it.
But I don't know what is happening on this channel, Frasier, right now. I want to talk about a writing related thing that is related to food, because you love it when we do this. We talk about food and writing. So just talking about the music and the fact that, you know, Tom was saying that it helped with the drama of the scene. Like, what happens if you're writing a scene that is not dramatic in any way, such as the one I've just written, which is about two people having a conversation about the merits of jams, marmalades, and curds, but you're listening to epic music? Do you then find that it suddenly becomes a more dramatic scene because of it? Like, is this the most dramatic jam conversation in the history of literature?
100%.
What's not dramatic about curds?
Well, I mean, clearly there's something dramatic about it now because it's in my book. So,
so jams, marmalades, and curds.
yes.
Is that working title for book 3, Holly?
For this chapter, yes, very much so. But the point I was making is, when you listen to the music and it's making you feel more dramatic, does that then mean that you take the mundane scenes that should be quiet and kind of, you know, at a lower tempo? Do you risk them then becoming a bit too much?
I don't know. I find that, like, if the music, I just find like my writing becomes more dramatic and kind of bouncy if it needs to be, if it's a fast-paced bit of music. But when I go back to reread it for the edits, the vibe, I guess, is still what it should be. I just find that the writing of it becomes more linked to the style of the music. It can be the most boring, tragic, like low energy scene ever, and I can be like, yeah, I'm really, really happily writing this, and it just gets out faster, but the tone is still as it should be. For me, I find.
Yeah, I feel like it's the if the music matches what the characters are going through, they could be going through a very mundane thing, but they might feel like it's very important. So I think that's the most important thing. Like, I don't know, how would you make a scene? Has it made your scene more dramatic, Holly? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I think I'm just overly paranoid about whether or not having a scene where two people have a conversation about jam is exciting enough to be in a book. And I'm just looking for validation. That's what's happening here.
If you've written it, Holly, it will be. Definitely.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, you've got to have a little bit of light to go with the darkness sometimes. And like,
yeah.
You'll get.
The thing I remember seriously from the Hallows is you talk about the benefits of pies, and that a good quality pie can make a big difference in a social occasion, rather than quiche, for example. No disrespect to quiche, but it's just not on the same level. So no, these are things people relate to and remember.
I do talk about food a lot. I don't think I've ever realised this, but I do. Like, food and poo are the two things, like, main themes.
Yeah,
just for like the
I'd go with that. Yeah.
For the context, right? I have been begging Holly for years, practically, for us to have, and Lauren, you know this as well, to have like a "You Are What You Eat" type panel on Spotlight Indie in some form or another, where we talk about how food can influence like the writing experience and everything like that. And Holly, for ages, is like, nah, nobody's going to want to tune in. And then all she writes about is food. It's just like, come on, Holly.
I might be wavering here.
Yes. So how does everybody feel about like the final sprint? Everybody up for it?
Yeah. Yes, let's do it.
Yep.
Awesome. See you on the other side, guys. Boom. Thanks, guys, as well for like keeping up with the chat. I've been totally looking down and missing what's been going on. So to everybody who's welcomed everybody in during that last stint, thank you. How's it going? How did it go?
Have a draft finished?
Well done.
Woohoo! That's awesome, Lauren.
Very happy. Yeah, thank you for facilitating.
That's amazing. What about you, Tom?
I've got 750 words down, so I'm happy with that.
Oh,
That was a
yeah.
sprint.
Yeah. What about you, Tim?
Due to the magic of copy and paste, I'm now at nearly 12,000 words. But obviously, I didn't write all of those in the last 25 minutes.
You should have just said, like, I'm 12,000, from 1,800 to 12,000. What a legend. That's amazing. And what about you, Holly?
Absolutely no clue. I don't know. I was going back and forth and adding bits in, and I forgot to look what my word count was before. But I'm gonna guess probably around 400 or 500, something like that.
Nice. That's amazing. I don't know how many pages I got. I got to the end of a chapter, and I've done maybe another 4, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Productive.
Yeah.
Very right. I hope everybody who's joined us has had a similarly productive time. I'm afraid I've got nothing better than a banana to eat for you, Tim. It's
Yeah, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
That's always a nice treat. There'll be no ASMR on this final bit.
Oh, I think we're all very disappointed.
Well, some of us are.
I could try and eat my pen. That would be.
I mean, I've got a bit of popcorn left, but nobody wants to hear me eating, so.
Yeah, go on, Holly.
No, stop then.
So yeah, a good time had by all. What has been your biggest takeaway from your writing sprints today, do you think?
See, I don't know, because I think the scene I've been working on today is one that I've been particularly struggling with. So I don't think that it is the best work that I could have done. But I mean, sometimes that's the point. Even if it's not the best work that you can do, it's just getting something on the page, isn't it? And hoping that if it is a scene that you're struggling with, that somehow will spark something.
Do you find that like doing writing with other people when you've got to face a scene like that makes the scene more manageable and doable rather than just writing it by yourself?
I mean, I think it depends on how much you can really talk about it, because obviously we always have to be a little bit careful of spoilers. But so this particular scenario, I've got 2 characters where one is having an identity crisis. He's having a crisis of confidence in what he's doing, which is very pivotal to the plot of the book. But this is so out of character for this person and how they've been established in the previous 2 books. That's where I'm really struggling. It's like the speed at which this person goes from being the most confident man on the planet to really being a shell of himself. It feels very jarring at the moment. So I'm looking for a way to make that transition without losing too much to exposition and kind of trying to explain what's happened outside of the book.
That is an interesting challenge. What do you think? Because like we've got like a plethora of indie authors here. So like what have you guys found that's helped in moments like that where a character has gone from one thing to another thing very quickly when you've been editing and drafting and things? What kind of things have you encountered that have helped you?
Genuinely, I just kind of write what I can, leave parentheses of I know this needs to be fixed, and just work through it with my editor, because Olivia, she does amazing dev, and the brainstorms that we have, even because sometimes we'll have a conversation before she actually edits, and then just that is enough for me to come unstuck, or she'll read it and just leave comments, and that is enough for me to come unstuck. But I tend to I used to get really, really stuck on those sorts of things for weeks or months. And I tend to be better at now sharing rougher drafts with her and working through it with her. because then I can become unstuck more quickly, just get on to the next thing rather than trying to brainstorm it myself or figure it out myself, because although I'll get there, it just takes so much more time. So I'm trying to share earlier drafts sooner with her, and normally just even as she's reading it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know where I need to go with that. So I don't know if that's
the polar
helpful.
opposite of. Well, I don't know, because that's the polar opposite of me, which is whenever I want to share a draft, it has to be so perfect. My ideal feedback is that was perfect, and that's probably an unrealistic level of
you can, but it just takes so much longer, surely,
Yeah.
because you second guess yourself, and then you're tweaking, and then you're tweaking, and I always find more progress happens the earlier I share stuff, and I have to get past it's not perfect. I don't want to share it with someone knowing it's not perfect. I promise you I know how to write. I promise you I know what words are and emotions are and description are. I promise I know that, but just help me with this like foundational piece that I can't see, wood for the trees type thinking, because you're so close to it. So I think just another pair of eyes seeing it in the earlier stage, because you don't want to write perfect and then they read it and like, I've really missed the mark, I've gone wide of where I need to go, and then you need to go back to the drawing board and rewrite, and that just takes even more time. So the sharing it sooner is what's helped me most.
I'm so with you on that, Lauren. Like I problem solve when I'm talking to people about something. It's almost like it has to be externalized to fix the problem. Which is, I guess, where sort of like the vomiting and the editing kind of makes sense, because you're still externalizing it. You're just doing that in a form that is solo. Whereas when you've got someone to bounce ideas around from, it's like an extra form of editing, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I would like to say as well, but genuinely, from just sitting and listening to Lauren talk then, I actually think I've just worked out what I need to do to fix the scene. And it's further cemented my suspicion that Lauren is in fact a wizard.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, she does have naturally blue hair, so that is
There's just some magic that's just coming through the screen. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's just her manner.
Yeah.
It could have equally have been Tom's hat though that did it, so we'll never know.
Well, it's much more likely to be the beard. Like there is power in that beard.
I just looked at it and just thought, I know what I need to do to fix this book. It's amazing.
I think that's the point, though. It's something that is just, well, it could be magic. It could be a magical beard or magical hair. Let's not discount that possibility. But I think just that there is an element, I think, where the solo nature of doing what we do, it's actually, I find it's quite rare to talk through detailed problems. I tend to do it in like a huge stages of like, here's 100,000 words. What do you think? Maybe I need to be a bit more open to those conversations, because like, it can be as simple as talking about it is enough to unlock it, whereas you might be staring at the screen for, a month and not come up with that. I just think it's really interesting how the interactions can make a difference sometimes. But there's a level of trust there. I mean, obviously, Lauren, you've worked with Olivia for years, haven't you? You've built up a huge level of trust, which you can rely on, can't you? Which is really, really good.
Yeah, but it's also like having a good beta team as well, that kind of knows you and the kinds of stories that you write, and if they're relatively well read in the genre anyway, so they have that, or they're not, but they just have a really good sort of analytical way of thinking. And again, it comes from like just, I guess, time and working with people. But I also have a couple people on my team that I could absolutely almost bounce an idea off, or be like, I'm thinking of doing this, or can you look at this particular earlier draft of this chapter and just answer some questions about it? Maybe like, is foreshadowing coming through? Is an action sequence clear? Or character motivation? Whatever it is that you have been struggling with, just for some objective feedback. And they know it's not polished. But it's just, I think once you get like the foundations of the story there, be it plot, character, structure, pacing, once you've got that, then you can go away and tinker away and make it perfect in terms of the prose. But just, we think of writing as a very lonely art, and it is, because you are the only one that's putting the words down. But I think the more collaborative you can make it at the earlier stages, then the easier those lonely parts are, because then you kind of, you know, it's making people feel whatever it is you want them to feel. But I absolutely get the whole, I want it to be perfect in my own box, as good as I can get it, and I want that. Oh my god, I love it. There's no notes 10 out of 10. But I think that's not likely. Maybe the last few
you
chapters.
get to that point. You get to that point eventually through the process. But like for me, it's knowing that your beta readers are going to be judgment free. Like that's so they're honest, completely honest and open with what they think, but at the same time free of any judgment of like your writing sucks. It's like, no, this is just what needs fixing. Like that's, I think you find beta readers like that and you'll it makes such a difference.
And it's not just beta readers as well. I mean, you know, you can have conversations with friends and family. You don't have to specifically give them a portion of the book to read. You could just say, hey, what would you do in this situation? How would you react? Like, how would you feel if this happened? You know, and talk it through that way as well. It doesn't always have to be about the words. It can just be a kind of a conversation.
Yeah, especially if you haven't written the words yet.
Yeah, exactly. Which happens quite often to me.
Can I share with you something that I drafted today that I think is possibly the worst sentence I've ever written in my life?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes.
Please.
In fact, it was so bad that when I went back and quickly was like, what did I write earlier? And then read it, I just couldn't help but laugh for like maybe a solid 30 seconds to a minute of that last session. Here we go. You ready? I focused on the water, the envelopment, the brine that cradled me without fear or judgment. Isn't that just the worst sentence?
I've heard worse. I've heard worse.
The brine that cradled me without fear or judgment. What the heck am I doing in my brain? That's terrible.
First draft, it's fine.
It's
know,
different.
right?
It's different, but there's something there. You can work with that.
I, you know what? I crossed it out, and just my next sentence was like a million times better. But it was like, but honestly,
do you want me to go one better, Frasier? Do you want me to go one better? Okay, I got the marmalade jar. Looked at him, and he felt judged.
But I like that. I like it. It's Patty, that's a sentence worthy of Paddington, that, Ollie.
It's not quite the vibe I'm going for with this grim, dark murder story.
We all need a grim, dark murder Paddington story.
Yeah.
We all
Did that make you feel better, Frasier?
It did, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, I like it. I like how Tom's just been absorbing this the whole time. More magic for his beard.
More wisdom, more grey hairs. It's very useful.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, for helping us work through our scenes, for helping us sprint and get stuff done. To everybody in the chat, you're an absolute legend. Thanks for joining along. For everybody here, Tom, nice work with the hats. Definitely added some pep to our whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Lauren, awesome to get you back on the horse. Thank you so much for joining us. Tim, I'm sorry I couldn't finish with a bigger ASMR segment for you. I'm glad you worked out that listening to something is helpful to your writing process. And Holly, I hope you feel good. I hope you feel better and just more like grounded, and you can do this because you're awesome.
I do feel better, and I think it's nice to do things like this when you're not feeling quite so good. You know, you are on shaky grounds. It's something that a lot of us go through. And like I said at the beginning, part of this is being transparent about this experience. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for spending some time with me. And also, Frasier, are we going to talk about what everyone's got coming up? What's going on?
100%. Tom, tell us where people can find you. Tell us what people can find you doing and what is on the horizons for you and all of the good stuff.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm on all the major socials. Tom Bookbeard or the _ variants. Tom Bookbeard normally works. I've got an anthology coming out with the Secret Scribes, so keep an eye on that. It's just with the ARC readers at the moment. We had like 250 plus ARC signups. It's insane.
Nice.
I'm not used to this, but yeah, we're very excited. We're really proud. The cover is going to be amazing. And that's being done by Lamia Bayern, the author of The Wingspan of Treason. So that's going to be amazing. There's another secret, not so secret anthology Frasier and I are working on. That's all I'm going to say. And my Sky Pirate Fantasy, The Corsair, hopefully will be ready this year. But yeah, I'm still editing that. So hopefully, yeah, I'll have that ready for you guys.
And you can find out more from Tom. You can see him on the Beardsmen of the Apocalypse.
I I am. Thanks, Frasier. I do have a podcast called The Four Beardsmen of the Apocalypse with David List, Charlie Cavendish, who doesn't have a beard, and DB Rook. Tim's been on it, and Holly. Frasier, not yet, and Lauren, not yet.
Thanks, Tom. What about you, Tim?
So I'm again, but like Tom said, I'm available on pretty much every social media platform under a variant of my name. It's Tim Hardy author, normally, just to distinguish me from other Tim Hardys who happen to also exist. And yeah, you can find me on my website as well. It's timhardyauthor.co.uk. And yeah, I'm kind of I produced a series called The Brotherhood of the Eagle, which was finished last year, and as you saw live here, I've just basically kicked off what will be my next novel in terms of assemblage and what have you today. So that's going to be called Wolf Throne, and we'll see what happens to that. That might be a trad publishing submission. It might be another indie release. Who knows what will happen? But you saw it start here first. And yeah, you can also pick me up on Book Reviewer. So I do book reviews for Page Chewing and Spotlight Indie. So if you want to find out what I like to read, you can pick that up on the website or on those blogs, basically. So go and check those out.
That rocks. Thanks, Tim. Lauren, what about you?
Hi, so you can find me online. llmccrae.com is my website. All my socials are linked there. Mostly active on Blue Sky and Twitter and Goodreads. The finale to my Dragon Spirits trilogy just released, so I'm kind of mid-project at the moment. I don't think I'm going to have another release before the end of the year. I'll just be working on a few other projects. These character epilogues being one of them, which will be exclusive on my Patreon. I review what I read on Goodreads. I don't have like a specific page like Tim does, but you can always check out what I'm reading there. Drop me a message if ever you want to talk about anything draconic. But hopefully I'll be back next year with a brand new series once I get stuck into that. So exciting.
That's awesome. And Holly, what about you?
If people want to find me, easiest way to do that is to go through Spotlight Indie, which is at Spotlight Indie on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, and X. We also have the website, spotlightindie.co.uk. You can find me, Frasier, Alex, Tim, whole host of other indie authors are on there. And we do have a really exciting announcement about a online event, which is going to be coming out next Sunday. So anyone who's watching, you can check that out. It will be all over our socials. Very excited to reveal something. What could it be?
So that's cool. Me, I'm at Frasier Armitage, and I have a book coming out on the 9th of September, so you can pre-order the paperback now, or you can just wait a couple of weeks and you'll be able to get the paperback. So yeah, I'll just like throw that in. So that's cool. Or you can just check out Spotlight Indie. Just keep checking out Spotlight Indie, guys. It's awesome. And stay tuned for this announcement because it's particularly tasty.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's better than grapes and bananas.
It's better than Frasier's ASMR.
I do feel like we need to add an ASMR segment to it though, Holly. We'll work on that when you're back from your holiday, if I'm still alive. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This has been Spotlight Indie. Stay awesome, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you.